I just had my first date ever. First ever date. We went for a hike. This is gonna be like fucking Hamza X Peterson story time. So I'm gonna narrate Hamza story time narration, what I've learned, and what I am to think about because there are things to think about. We went on a hike up Fernhill yesterday. It was around sunset, but we went after work. So we left at around 7 and we went in the bus and we climbed, but the sun started setting while we climbed. It was even nice because when we got to the top, it was like a 1 hour climb. When we got to the top, instead of it being like a sunset, it was like a moonlight thing. It was quite cool actually. I don't think I could have done that in India because the moonlight was shining. It was like shining, bro. Why am I speaking like this? Pan Jordan. Let's go. And so we went to the top and we spoke. We cuddled and spoke. I essentially had her beside me. And one thing I've realized is the smoothness that the I've learned from the red pillars I did not have. So I just implemented a little bit slowly touching, hand holding, nudge wasting, pulling her to the correct place, things like that. We spoke there and I tried to breathe deeply. I was actually curious. It's a curiosity I've lost over time. When I was 13, 14, I was deeply curious about most things and people. I seem to have lost that now because of I think it's a byproduct of my laser focus, and you start to develop beliefs that normal people don't have, and they speak their beliefs into you without you even asking, and you then have to clear your head of that. Instead of that, it's just laser focus. Yeah, we went and we hiked. We sat by the moonlight for like an hour, and then we went down. And what the interesting thing was, she told me that she does not like dirty talk, and I was like, "You're either not gonna like it or you're gonna grow to love it. I'm not gonna stop." That's even one more thing I've learned flirting, not because I've learned the skill of flirting. I think I always had that, but I've learned outcome independence not because I've learned outcome independence as a skill, although I am gaining that, which is why I think Stoic philosophy is so helpful. Especially, I've read Epictetus's Enchiridion, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the manual. Imagine that, bro. Like that that's a book that was 2,000 years old, and you're like, yo, so what? Like, you write something and it's here. No, it's like there is no YouTube. If I put this video on YouTube, it's on YouTube forever. But you had to manually write that down. Gutenberg printing press was what, 1858. Anything written before that and preserved is like insane, and it's preserved because it's useful. If you just read it, bro, like go to YouTube now, search Vox Stoica, Epictetus Enchiridion narration, something like that, and it'll be the first one. It has like a million views, something like that. It's amazing. It's just an hour, so while you train, this is for Siddhant Vivek Bhai. Suno, amazing. What else? I'll come to the why I was outcome independent later. Yeah, so we went down. That was like hand holding the whole time. I slipped, she slipped because we were not wearing like proper shoes. She was wearing work shoes. I was wearing my fucking barefoot. What is it called? Aqua Decathlon, 800 rupees, $13 shoes. 13, $16. What else? We came down, and then I was actually hungry, damn hungry. You could say it was an excuse to get to her place, but she was very secretive of her place, not as a like a first date honor thing. It was that I don't want to say she's not honorable, but it was more like it's my private space and sort of thing. And we shared a lot of intimacy in terms of like emotional, physical as well, but emotional, mental intimacy in terms of I gather deep into what she wants, but she did not initially know. It took her 15 minutes, between 5 to 15 minutes to figure out what she actually wants. We spoke about what she wants and what she thinks and how I think and what I want in the future and the kind of girl I'm looking for and the kind of man she's looking for. Dude, like, I'm hungry right now. And I'm still making this video because I want this. So just imagine that, yeah. Just imagine me holding a girl and just looking into her eyes, which eye contact, by the way, oh my god. I find like it's eye contact is not a problem. I won't look down, but I'll look at her face or I'll look at her lips or something, or her nose or something, not the eyes. So I have to remind myself to look. The slight shift on the eyes and made, I could see the difference it made in terms of she looked away first and it was looking towards these little faces were not as long because the eye contact was deep. Maybe that's something I've learned to look away, but I found it more than adequate. Yeah, we're talking about all that. And we went down. By this time, my legs sort of hurting because I did leg day like 2 days ago. But this date was yesterday, so like the day previously I did leg day. While coming down, it's a lot of eccentric slash slash isolation movement of just like your leg is bent and then you're just keeping it bent. You're resisting movements. You're not contracting it, but you're resisting eccentric motions. No, you're doing the eccentric slowly. You're going down and eccentric slowly. So yeah, that seemed to have fucked my legs a little bit. And then we went to her place. We went in the bus and we walked to her place. Shout out to my Indian bro. When we were going in the bus to the place, I don't have enough balance in my card, and he saw a girl with me, and I was like, "Bhai, kitna dena?" Because he looked Indian. He was like, "It's fine," which is like Indian bros wingman. Shout out to Kunj. I think his name is Kunj and Queen Sang. I'm giving way too much away. So that happened, and we went to her place, and I was actually hungry. So we sat down, we sat on the bed, and I started eating, and we were talking. And what was interesting is that I kept talking after I finished eating. I was just there. I was like, there's a thing to do the smooth thing as well, but I always. So this is what I learned. That's what I remembered. Hamza telling me to be smooth and slowly and escalation and all of the r/seduction and that pill. Not nonsense, but jargon. Yeah, and what I find interesting is that I can this point later. That we were there and I was like, I want dessert because this is a joke I made earlier. A joke I made earlier was, "Oh, this plum is amazing. Are you just as juicy?" And also, she went, "Are you hungry or do you want something?" Or I'm like, I want dessert. What do you mean by dessert? And she laughed at both. But yeah, she laughed at both, and I continued that. I was like, I want dessert, and I just became like a child, like a boyish child, which is insane to me because I banged my head against the wall for so long. You have no idea. Essentially, there was a girl I liked when I was in India, and I banged my head against the wall for so long trying to figure out how this guy she was with had the boyish charms. He was holding her and tickling her and playing with her and in a way that I aspired to, and I just could not for the life of me figure it out. Turns out it's just outcome independence. If she leaves, you're okay with that. If she's upset, not even she leaves. If she gets upset, you're okay with that. You know what? I'm like, cool, sorry. Like, so good. Sort of thing. Imagine how insane that is. I cared so much about this other girl that I was not able to flirt or be my boyish, teasing, charming self or version because I cared too much, bro. Like, this is like when the blue pill Hollywood parda fash. Yeah. So I was like, I want dessert. Just became like a child, and to go back when we were sitting by the moonlight, just like as a joke, I just not smooth at all, just like a joke. I took her face and I was just like this, and I stopped, and she was like very taken aback. And the thing is, I don't think it's because the lack of comfort. I think it was because or the lack of like smooth. I think it's the same thing that happened when we were at her place. I don't take her to my place because if you can see there, then you can see another bed. I have a roommate that lives here. What it was, by the way, shout out to Vivek. He told me to start making YouTube again. So this is me documenting my life again. What happened was, I was like, I want dessert. And it was fine because it was relatively smooth. It was not smooth, but escalation type. It was like we were touching hands and she was touching my face and I was touching her face. So escalation wise, it was fine. But the way I did it, it was not smooth and intentionally so. I could have been smooth, but I wanted it to be like I want to kiss. And I probably could have done like absolutely could have done better with the smooth and be like I want dessert and then me leading. But you also have to realize I've never properly kissed or made out with someone. This is too much information. Yeah, bro. So like, I'm just like with this girl. I'm like, come sit on top of me, and she came and sit on top of me, and she's like here, and she's holding my head, and she's like, you're too young to give context. This woman is significantly older, more than a decade older than me, and I'm 19, so like I'm barely legal. So it was like a big thing for her. I'm like, how am I? Number one, how am I on a date with this 19-year-old? And B, how am I going to kiss him now? It was like such a mind fuck for her. And I made a blog about this on my blog, ilyas.substack.com. I put in the link. It's not paid or anything. Just if you want to know more about my life and the way I think. But yeah, like you were a man child. I was like, okay. And we just spoke about this when we were in the moonlight on the top of the hill on the hike. We were like, do I do any? She said other people find you childish. I'm like, okay, can you name any of my childish behaviors? She's like, no, I don't give a shit. I can't control my age. I can't control whether I'm 70, 30 or 10. I can't control. Yeah, fortunately, unfortunately, that's when my X time is when my parents had sex. The next time was when I conceived. And X time was when I born. Like, it's out of my control. If there's any behavior that you find childish that I do not, I would agree that you find childish. I can eliminate them, but as far as I know, I was like, can you name them? She was like, no, you don't do childish behaviors, but you're 19. I'm like, not my control, so sorry. And it was like, I was sitting like this. It was instead of the chair, it was her bed, and because she got on top of me, and she tried to kiss me. And I was just waiting for her to do because I did not know. And she was like, no, I can't do this. I'm like, cool. And I just said, I looked into her eyes. I was like, she's like, what happened? I'm like, I want dessert. It's a whole boyish. I did that one. Again, she came closer this time, and she was holding my head, but she wasn't able to do anything. Came again. And then she was teaching me, bro, like, I thought you were supposed to open your eyes. Like, I want to see what you look like when you kiss me. But she was like, no, you close it. I was like, okay. I closed my eyes. And then we kissed. And then it was so, kissing is such a weird concept. Not in like a 12-year-old, ew, cooties type of way. But cooties, my god. Haven't I become white? It is kissing, making out. Or so I've been told. Apparently what I did was making out. I wouldn't know better. Such a weird thing, like sucking on someone's mouth and then tongue. Which I've been told, like, you don't share jhuta pani. You don't share water that you've jhuta. Translate for all my Indian bros. I know Vivek is watching. My mom is going to be horrified. Just translate it for me. It's such a weird thing. You're sucking on lips and then tongue and a little bit teeth. Like it was very weird. I was like, okay, this is what you do. It was such a mindfuck in that I was like, okay, it wasn't even because of the pleasure. I was like, this is what you're supposed to, this is how you move forward. Such a masculine, like a driving thing. You should go forward. Like this is how, I'm not feeling much, but this is how we go ahead. And then what happened was we continued, and then my student analyzing self came up, and he was like, okay, let's do it again. And I was just trying to figure things out. I was trying to more tongue, less tongue, slower, faster, up or down, or what the fuck. I have no idea. I'm just exploring her mouth and my mouth and how it interacts. Which, dude, like, don't worry about kissing. Like the right girl will teach you, and it's not even the right girl. You learn. Like if we're fighting age young men, we're going to the gym and learning, whether that's for the job or for at school, we're learning and we're getting good marks, and we learn like we're learning machines. You and I, we're learning machines, bro. Like Siddha and Vivek and my younger self and my older self. Like we're learning machines. So don't worry about, oh, I can't kiss or I can't fuck or I don't know what to do. Like you learn. And when I go ahead, like we start kissing, and I asked her like, how do you feel? Not like I want your validation. And relatively, I want your validation, but more in a, how was that? Like, not my ego or my emotional stuff. Like, how was that? It's like, teacher, how do you tell teacher, how is this essay? And she tell you this is where you missed. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll come back. That sort of way. But tip for kissing and anything sexual is stay in the moment. The Hamza's DAP, some DAP, some shit. Which is dominance, assertiveness, something, and then a presence, like presence, bro. Like what Hamza says, like breathe, deep breaths, and be present. It's like close your eyes and be present in the moment, which is so weird. It's like it's not to the end of something. It's even that is such a weird thing in itself, which is because it's instant gratification essentially. Because if there is no, especially if there's no long term aspect to it, but it's essentially instant gratification, which is so weird. I'm like, why am I doing this for the sake of this? But then, because then you have to practice present. Because if you think about that, then it's like, oh, I'm gonna die anyway. That is the only eternal truth. So everything is then should be in the highest flow state is intrinsic motivation, and why does it matter and all of that. Okay, so kissing, and then what happened? I forget. I think we talk, and then I'm like, I think I'll sleep here because it was raining outside, and I changed into my like sleeping pants and all of that. I had prepared. I was like, in case I got food and yeah. So we went to her place and sleeping, but then we made out more. We made out more and we made out more, and again, thing why I tell you she'll teach you is she won't. You can pick up on cues, and it's not like oh, I'm autistic. I can't pick up on social cues. It's like amount of noise she makes is directly correlated to how much she's enjoying it, which to us it's like a fucking grunt. And like I don't think I'd moan because of the amount of pleasure I'm feeling. Maybe I would, but for me it's like effort. Like bam bam. Not even if that's hip thrusting or even if that's just like keeping you. It's just based on effort, and for her it wasn't. I'm gonna generalize here. I'm assuming for other girls it isn't. It's directly related. So it's just like listen to what she's making noises to, which I found like kissing the earlobe was among other things which I don't think I should get into for honor reasons, privacy reasons. When she just try and explore her body, and if she makes noises, she likes it. Just do more of that. Yeah, and then we made out, and I was like, I want to take your top off. Otherwise, she was like, no. Otherwise, I'll keep torturing you. And then I tortured her. This is the torture in the BDSM, not the BDSM, but like that sort of way, but in more vanilla, more mellow way. In that, I kept going to her earlobe, and she made a lot of noise, and she liked that. So I was like, and then, like, how was that? She was like, too much. It's too much. Like, it's too much. I was like, you're gonna take your shirt off or not? So eventually, she did take her shirt off. I don't know if I should talk about this. Essentially, we made out more and more and more, and then we fell asleep. Even sleeping, I realized that like when I was used to sleeping alone, and in India, I had a mattress on the floor that I used to sleep at, so I could literally fall over, so I could just sleep like how much ever I fucking want. What's interesting also is that that was the first time ever I had blue balls, and it's still relatively pain. Like my balls still paining. Like because my friend was like, "Oh, dude, I got blue balls. It hurts so much." I was like, "What the fuck? Your balls are paining? What?" It hurts. It hurts, bro. Peeing seems to make it better, but it fucking hurts. We slept. We spoke and we slept. I was so hungry. Like around 1 when we were sleeping at night, I was so hungry. And she was like, hold on, I said, I want to talk. I'm tired now. I was like, I'm an athlete, bro. Let's go. But then we slept at around like 3. And fucking Siddha and Vivek, my friends, were available to talk. And I was like, nah. Yeah. And then we slept, which was like we slept at 3:30, and then I woke up at 7:30 because my A alarm, B. You can see my sleep deprivation. I think a truck went by, like a garbage truck, and I heard the noise. That's what the girl told me, that like that's what wake you up. So we woke up, and she liked it. She liked sleeping next to me because whenever she woke up at night, I was there and she could fall back asleep. Just pull into me and fall back asleep. I have no idea. Of course, I was sleeping. We woke up and we spoke for a bit. And we just actually chilled in each other's arms. I was like, I want round 2. Again, I said the boyish charming thing. We want round 2. And dude, we made out, getting better at making out, and Hamza, thank you, because I remembered Hamza's tip of like, just take her hand to your cock. I did that. It works, smooth works, bro. And then I was like, again, the thing of like, remove your underwear. And then she said something, and we went back and forth. And by the way, like, with these like big things of like, remove your underwear, I want to kiss her, I have been intentionally like smooth, and then I make that smooth. I'm like, do you want this? I'm doing this. Is that okay? And if she's cool with that, sure. And I'm not sure how much of like building comfort plays into that, because I've always been like, I've been friend zoned, bro. Like, I'm used to getting friend zoned. I'm used to people me like begging for attention and love and intimacy. I'm not getting any. So I'm very good at the good boy like levels. Homath talks about levels, his dating system, where it's like bad boy traits and good boy traits. I'm like fucking high on the good boy traits. Just have to develop bad boy traits. Which, by the way, I want to talk about how this girl is attracted to me, because I always had the good boy traits, but I'm developing the bad boy traits. She see me, she goes to the gym with me after work. She sees me studying for a tech job that I have applied for before work. She sees I'm driven, and she sees I have a little bit of muscle on my frame, developing hopefully 100 kg in a decade. She sees the masculine drive, which, by the way, Indian culture is so. It's also fucked, but it's also like there's a lot more competition. Everyone is fucking driving. Everyone is just fucking grinding. But the kind of people I meet, so everyone is grinding. And maybe that's the wrong way to think about it. Maybe when I go to Goregaon, Siddha, bro, maybe I'll get a fruit, if you know what I mean. I'll get a girl like yours, or I get girls when I go to Goregaon, because it's like suburbs. Everyone is grinding. Maybe not in Goregaon. I don't know. But bro, like fucking, if you're in Mumbai, go to Goregaon. Like Yasir, go to Goregaon. Yasir is my younger brother. Go to Goregaon, bro. You were right. The chicks are in Goregaon. I see Siddha's girls and I'm like, fuck. Okay. Bro, imagine a girl that says, if I'm not with you or your bulk, I don't deserve you during your cut. Regardless, she saw that, and that's what attracted her. What also attracted her is kindness, because I go over and above and beyond for customers that I feel like need help, not in like selling my stuff, but helping them cancel something that I think they should be allowed to cancel, or helping them with like, I know what it's like to come here and not to know this place. I'm used to being like, this is next to this society. Like, what the fuck is the street name and street number? How do I know what street number it is? So I'm used to that, and I help with directions and all of that, and where you can go and Indian client just handed me a phone. I was like, talk. I was like, hello, who is this? Altitude Bibri, okay. My client. So just that. Yeah. So she gave me a hand job while we were kissing. And then all I will say is that we agreed. She did not. I was getting to this point. Identities, atomic habits, plug. Identity is such a powerful thing because she said, you're a good man. She said, you're a good man. You know that it's not good to fuck on the first date. And that was like instantly, I was like, yeah, I understand. I understand. But I was like, and this is me being a little bit cheeky. It was about how I was like, it's only fair that I get to slip my hand. And that's it. Like, I'm not gonna go further for honor, privacy. I feel uncomfortable talking about it for her sake. I have no shame for her sake. It's weird. Like, guys are so used to just like being hard. Woman vagina is so wet and soft and crinkly. It's interesting. Yeah. So that happened. Round two was much shorter because I did not have breakfast. I yet to have breakfast. I'm recording this because I want everything to be fresh. Yeah. And then she was like, you should go because if the landlord does not allow overnight stays. And I was like, oh yeah, I should go because it's raining. I should go now, and I'm getting hungry and all that. She was like, oh, stay. And I was like, I have to go. Sorry. It was like a, you know how it's like in the military where it's like, I have to go, darling. She's like, no, stay. It's the way of the Supreme Man talks about. You can't if you're stable. If I was with her all day and I didn't, she know I will go to the gym, I have to go do laundry, I have to journal. She'll respect for you, bro. And that's what I did when we spoke about dating this girl. She came back to my hometown and I spent like 3-4 hours with her, knowing that A should not have that kind of time. Her priorities lied elsewhere, and I did not have that kind of time. I thought I had to set up for New Zealand. Yeah, that's what happened. I came back. I'm here. I know the difference between pecs and making out and all of that. But I was also very. I did not want to break her heart or play with her. I don't like that. It's almost you state the fact of the truth. The honor from Stoicism, and just my Islamic upbringing. Which, by the way, dude, Seneca, Epictetus, 2,000 years ago. Quran, 1,400 years ago. They're 600 years older, which is amazing to me. Just finding this out like 2,000 years ago, we knew all this. Why is Hamza and Hormozi is different? I think Hamza is we just repeat the same shit, which I don't want to record as well because I'm gonna repeat what Seneca and Epictetus said, bro. Like fucking put that audiobook on. Seriously, stop this video. That audiobook will be more helpful. Download it. Use NewPipe, NEWPIPE. Search on Chrome. That'll be on Android. Use that. Download it and use it. Download. It helps you download videos from YouTube. Just download it as an audio and listen to it at the gym, or listen to it while you're doing some mind-numbing eating, or some shit like that. It's amazing. And credit to PewDiePie for showing me that. And Charlie Morgan also has a video of like how to be a 1% man. I love that video. It's a 30-minute long video and it's amazing. Essentially covering about why are we learning from Hamza and Hormozi when we can be learning from Bezos and Sam Walton and Cicero and Alexander the Great. Like, you know, not the 1% men, the top 1% men. So at the end, I gave her a peck and I came here and I walked in the ring thinking all this. And I don't know, Vivek is going to be watching this. I just want to take credit. I admire how articulate Vivek is. And Vivek, you told me to start YouTube, right? I want you to start YouTube. Do the same thing. Take your phone. I have a GoPro, so I'm doing that. Take your phone, put it in front of your computer, and just fucking speak. And I know you're a lawyer. Maybe you want some notes about what you want to speak about, bro. You're articulate. Fuck Vivek, whoever is doing this, like speaking this. JBC helped me so much. Sales helped me so much because I can speak now. I may stutter and pause to articulate, and I may look down because I'm thinking back and working on that. But it's a bate banana, as Prakhar would say, is also a skill in itself. I digress too much. What I've learned from this: smooth, masculine drive. How you will upgrade women every 6 months or so. She's attracted to me because I have drive. She tells me that she wants a completely different thing. And I'm like, no, this is what I want. I'm sorry. Like, if you don't go with this, you'll have to leave. Also, you can be smooth, but also make it a very be smooth, but have a break and be like, okay, depends on how what your ethics are. For me, I like to be smooth for skill purposes, and then being like, I want to kiss you now. Like, I want to take off your shirt. And then those also how a woman is so completely different from men, and we're just like chasing and chasing and chasing, and she wants woman will most likely desire romantic intimacy. And Hamza spoke about how the friend zone is when the girl does not have respect for the guy, and the guy does not have the respect for the guy, for respect for himself. Because if he had respect, he would leave, and if the girl would have respect, she would fuck him. Or I use fuck as a proxy for dating. Which is like so yes. I've come here and now I can talk to people, and I think that's my main. I was as driving in this, and so more stoic and more focused on my work and all of that, but I don't know how to talk, and I could not flirt, and I was not independent. So that made me a good boy. I'm not being a bad boy. Just learn to talk, bro. That's what I've learned. I've learned I'm good at the good boy traits, and I'm developing the bad boy traits, and it'll come with time. I've learned that identity is a strong thing, and I'm a man of the flesh, and I'm weak to it. I've also learned that it takes brain space. Not really. I think the more dates I go on, it'll take less brain space, but Hamza spoke about how it's like all the high value men seem to take social as a break. I think I can use that, but I'm not sure. I don't think I can use that as a break, but I think reading is better break than that, because a girl teaching you what she wants is also a different experience. And imagine it being the first time with your future wife. That's also a different experience. Especially because sex in itself is instant gratification, and that is very weird to me. So I will essentially mold to whatever the girl wants. Not because I'm trying to please her. I am trying to please her, but because that's how I am pleased. She makes when she moans, I'm happy. That's what I've learned. But I have to think about if she is good for me, because we want vastly different things. And I went on this date because Hormozi said go on 100 of first dates and learn. And I think I've thought about this, and there isn't much to think. If I'm gonna deeply journal about this, I think I'll be just fooling myself, because you can take a look at a woman and see if she's wife quality. I think she is wife quality, but not my wife quality. Which is like, oh yeah, just like that's what girls say, bro. Like, I like you, it's not you, but it's me. I like you, but you're just my brother, and it's not that. Like, I genuinely think she's feminine, and I can. I was talking to her, and I was like, "You told me that I'm changing you. Do you like? Are you okay with that? Do you like the fact? Do you like the way I'm changing you?" She's like, "I think you're changing me, but you're bringing the real me out." That's what she said. I think that's interesting. I think it's good for me to go on first dates. I think I'll go on first dates with another girl that I have the number of, but she's been very clear in the fact that it can be short term, but it has to be serious. She doesn't want me flirting with other girls and asking for their numbers, and I don't think I'm okay with that, because, bro, like, Ilyas is fearing commitment to a girl. Like, imagine that, bro. For all my life, even like 2 years ago, or like Siddha was like, I hope he's okay with me saying this, but I'm like, do you have a fantasy with like multiple women? He was like, yeah, of course, bro. Like, I want multiple women before I settle down. we'd be like rich as fuck and with a Lambo and the Lamborghini. I'm sure he's a car guy, so he has his niche, specific, expensive car. We'll have that and we'll take her out and multiple girls and all of that. It's like date lifestyle. And I was like, I no, like I'm good with one girl. I work too much. Like one girl is fine. And I always valued that one depth and loyalty. Maybe that's a good boy in me. Maybe when I get 80 kg and I have women falling onto me, maybe I'll be different. But it's interesting about even with the sexual bit how we're so used to being like work so you can get this. Eventually work becomes intrinsic, but everything else that's not getting to an outcome is like, okay, I'm getting cold now. Okay, fuck. I'm getting cold. Yeah. Does that make sense to you? About color time with Ilyas, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking about. I think I'm gonna tell her. Today I'm gonna do laundry, make this video, journal a little bit, talk to my friends at night probably, get my schedule sorted because I know I can be going harder. I know I can be doing this more, and I'm most likely going to buy a mic and a Wacom tablet to draw with a whiteboard to explain stuff with Loom and all of that. Shout out to Vivek, he told me to take YouTube more seriously because I have skills in that. I was thinking I'll take SMMA, but I think it's smart to document because that's what Hamza says as well. YT, document, like YouTube, fitness, either for like self-improvement type of things. I think I'm going to continue doing that. I have to not to look at the camera. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do now is I think I actually enjoy her company. She's different in that she's very frankly, and she'll admit that she's not cerebral. I'm not saying she's smart, she's highly emotionally intelligent, but she's not cerebral like me. She's not cerebral. So it's a very different, it's a much more emotional and feminine and playful type of experience. It's not intellectual sparring, it's much more deep conversation and cute type of thing. I'm going to be very honest with her and tell her that I don't see us being together long term because the woman I want is fucking roof, bro. The woman I want is competent at her craft, ambitious, and is not not as feminine as you because I can't take care of that, bro. I'm too tired. Maybe that's being an inferior man, but like Hormozy, I've never thought of like a feminine stay at home. I want like a strong wife that I can depend on in times of adversity. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her this is the scene. I like you, but I don't think you're good for me. Or even good for me is debatable, but I don't think we're gonna end up together long term. Therefore, if you'd like, we can keep seeing each other and going on dates. But I will go on dates with other women as well, and I will keep asking other women out because I am not ready to commit to you when I haven't explored much. I am 19. I am Ishad. Yeah. I don't want to preach on these videos. I like this. But I'm talking to Siddharth Vivek, my older self, and myself, explaining how I feel. Hopefully over time I will increase my production quality. I want to do the whiteboard thing and draw it out and explain things. But this is where I am. My first date ever. Longest date ever. Most sexual date ever. Most sexual experience ever. It's wild to think about it. It's like mediocrity, instant gratification. I had a pana chocolat the other day. All I see is mediocrity around me. Mediocrity in the traditional sense. I think a lot of people here are happy because Queenstown's nature, it's quite happy place, especially when you compare it to Mumbai and the grind of the city. But I indulge in mediocrity and recognize mediocrity and hold back. That's all my life. Which is why I'm like, I will now get a work sponsorship here to grind for money, go back to India and do the business. Or if this pops off, I'll go to USA and go to college there because all the people I look up to are in the USA and I want all those celebrities very smart, and I've always Vivek has gotten so much more articulate, and he's like, you always say you don't give a shit about people, but you give so many shits about people. You give so many shits about people you're surrounded with. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a so much social talking about them, but I am a product of my environment, and I want my environment to be as conducive to my goals as possible. People that are high as fuck, not high as fuck, but in their endeavor, competent and struggling and striving, includes that. Thanks for listening to me. I will most likely eat and make another video. I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, P.S. When we were getting down on the hike, I told you it's eccentric movement, and it's like we were slipping quite a lot because neither of us had proper hiking shoes, and it was getting cold, so it was getting icy. So I just we turned on the light. I was holding her phone, we turned on the light, and I started playing. I use a dumb phone. My SIM is here, so I don't have like mobile data on my smartphone. So I started playing Hindi songs because to me that's like romance 100 max romance is Hindi. तुझ में रब दिखता है तुझे बुला दिया तो fucking classics. She did not understand them. B, she was not joining in, and I realized that, and then it was like a very I chilled out essentially. It was not about her anymore. It's chilled out, and then I realized she's not, and then I put perfect, and this town, she seems to not enjoy that as well. And I asked her, "Are you enjoying this?" She's like, "Not bad." So whenever with women, with anyone, most people, you learn this over time when you not because you're young or some shit, but as you speak to more people, get into sales. Not bad is not equal to good. If it was a yes, it would have been a yes. If it's a not bad, that means it's no. Or whenever, always be conservative. Did I kiss you well? Not bad. No. Or was that light? Not bad. That was light. Or yeah, that was light. Always fall back to the shittier option. And then, are you understanding what I'm saying? Increase your standards. Fall back to the shittier option. And presence. Fucking key presence. Not chilling. Presence. In her eyes. I'm not trying to preach, but this is what, even in the date, I could see the difference between in her eyes versus not looking at her face versus looking in her eyes. Just smiling, looking in her eyes and smiling versus not all of that. You learn that nuance as you accumulate volume, as always. Hormozy and volume. But yeah, just wanted to say that presence is fucking key. All she wants is an emotional presence, bro.